Hi everyone, it's me, Lubna. Today is Thursday, August 8th, 2024. This video is dedicated to my beloved, and the topic of this video is going to be about how nothing in life is inconsequential. So yesterday I actually started reading a new book titled Power versus Force by the psychiatrist David Hawkins, MD, PhD. And when I read books, I like to read everything, including the preface, the foreword, and the introduction, if there is one. And yesterday I was reading the foreword of this book, and I came across a little tiny passage that just really spoke to me inside of the foreword. And I'll just go ahead and read that little paragraph aloud to you first before I dive into the topic of this video. So here it goes. The author's dedication is to be truthful, accurate, and precise. As he explains in the book, the law of sensitive dependence on initial conditions means that a slight variation over time can produce a major change in outcome, much as a ship whose bearing is 1 degree off compass will eventually find itself hundreds of miles off course. In the revised edition, therefore, the effort is made to communicate the initial conditions in their most pristine and precise wording. So I know that that paragraph has more to do with the book, the way the book has been written and revised, but I thought that that phrase, the law of sensitive dependence on initial conditions, and the example that was given about how a ship whose bearing is 1 degree off compass will eventually find itself hundreds of miles off course. I just thought that that was very wise. That was a very wise observation. And I could relate to that in my own personal life, and I'm sure you can too. Just think about how many little decisions or events have happened in your life that have changed the course of your life completely. And it's not easy to see when that event is occurring in the moment, but when you look back after some time has passed, you realize that if that event or that choice had not gone as it had gone, things would be completely different for you right now in your life. And I'll give you an example. So when I was in my second year of medical school, during the winter quarter of medical school, I had failed a course, and that was my pathology course. And the reason that I failed it was obviously because I didn't score a high enough average on all of the exams. But after that, after we fail a course, we're given a chance to take a remediation exam. And if we pass the remediation exam, then we are given a pass in the course. And the remediation exam covers the entire course. So I had studied for that remediation exam, and I studied very, very hard for that winter pathology remediation exam. And when it came time to take the exam, I tried my absolute best to get as many questions right as I could. And it turned out, and I found out later, that I missed one too many questions to pass on that remediation exam. So I remember that there was one particular question about necrotizing enterocolitis that I had changed in the last moment from the right answer to the wrong answer. And as a result of that, I got a failure in that course, and I ended up having to retake it the summer after. But because of that, the entire course of my life changed for reasons that I might get into further detail about later on in the future. But it really is a big deal when you fail a course in medical school, and it is very difficult to recover from that, because medical school is very competitive, and getting into residencies is also very competitive. But what I'm trying to say here through this example is that even tiny little events like that, like changing the answer to a question in the last minute on an exam, can have long-term consequences on your life, or whether it's positive or negative, and you might not even know it. At that moment, I had no idea that my life was going to change forever as a result of that, but it did. And now that time has passed, I'm able to look back and see that that is true. And it's just like that example that was given with the ship in the paragraph that I just read, about how if a ship is off compass just by 1 degree, as the ship goes further and further, that 1 degree causes the distance between where the ship was supposed to be and where it is to get larger and larger and larger. And that's kind of how life is. Like when you make a certain decision or you change course in your life just slightly, just through one event or one mistake or one adjustment in how you're doing things, in the beginning you won't see the change, but as you keep living, as more and more time keeps passing, it'll become more apparent how your life has changed as a result of that one small event or that one small adjustment. And to build further on that, this teaches us a life lesson about how we should not consider anything to be inconsequential or insignificant. And I know that a lot of religions, particularly the Abrahamic religions, talk about how in the eyes of God, nothing is too small or too insignificant. Even the hairs on your head matter. Every little hair on your head matters, right? And in a similar vein, every little decision that you make, every little event that occurs has a consequence. And if we go back into history and change just one thing, like just one little step, if we put it like off balance in one small way, everything, the whole world might change. And we wouldn't know it because we wouldn't know until it actually happens after some time has passed. And I think that is a very beautiful thought. It can also be frightening, but it is very beautiful and very inspiring to know that you can make a small change now, today, in your life, if you consciously choose to. And long term, it could have a huge effect on how your life turns out. And of course, some things are not under our control, and they might be events that happen that are not under our control, even small events such as me missing that question on that exam. And that can have long-term consequences, but we can always see the good in those consequences, even if it doesn't turn out how we expect it to. I know that now, looking back, I am very grateful for what happened on that exam and the fact that I changed that answer to that question, because I would have a lot of things that have happened since then would not have happened. A lot of good things that have happened in my life since then would not have happened if I hadn't made that adjustment. So this is just some food for thought about how nothing in our lives is too inconsequential or insignificant to matter. Every little moment of the day and every little thing you do matters and has an effect, because every cause has an effect, and for every thing you do, that is a cause that is going to cause an effect to occur. So I think it's very interesting and very inspiring. I hope that my video was valuable to you today, and I hope that I've inspired you to look at the world differently and to look at your life and yourself differently, and realize that nothing and nobody, yourself included, is inconsequential. So thank you so much now for taking the time to listen to my video today, and I want to wish you a wonderful day, afternoon, evening, or whatever it is, wherever you are in the world.